Today we're going to look at how to play an A chord and some alternative shapes. Now the A chord is played here and all the fingers are in the second fret of the guitar. And you play from the second string down the A note through to the E note at the bottom. And you're actually playing an A note, an E note, an A note, a C sharp and an E. So it's A, second string down, and then we've got the D string, but we're playing the second fret, which is an E. Then we've got the G string, and we play the second fret, which is an A note. We've got the B string, and we're playing the second fret, which is a C sharp, and then we're playing the bottom string open. And you play all 5 strings, and if you play the chord nice and slowly to arpeggiate the chord, which is just a posh word for saying you're breaking the chord up and playing each individual note rather than just strumming it. And that way you can hear if any of the notes aren't ringing out nice or sound horrible, they're buzzing, or you've got your fingers on the frets or too far back, and you'll be able to hear that and it won't sound right. Yeah, and then you can correct, if you play it slowly and you can think, well, that bottom string's not ringing out and you need to correct that, and that will probably because your third finger will be flat on the guitar and muting the E string. So try and keep your fingers at a nice right angle to the guitar and play the chord nice and slowly and make sure it all rings out nice. Now with the A chord it's quite difficult to get all them fingers in there, and you may get buzzing and because like your fingers will be too close to the fret, or they'll be touching the string above here, the first finger, or as we've mentioned you might be muting the bottom string. And if you've got quite big fingers, and also it can depend on the size of the neck of the guitar, if you've got quite a big neck on some of the acoustics, you'll find the A chord a lot easier. If you're playing on an electric and on this acoustic the neck is quite thin, then the smaller and the thinner the neck becomes, the harder it is you're going to find that A chord. Now there's another alternative which I like to play, which is like a D chord but backwards here. And you've still got all your 3 fingers in that second fret, still play all the notes down and it still rings out nice A chord. But it does I think that's easier for me to get all the fingers in, especially on smaller neck guitars. And basically you've got your second finger on the E note, you've got your first finger fretting on the A of the G string, and then you take your third finger and fret here the C sharp on the B string, and again play all 5 strings down, arpeggiate it so it sounds nice, try and keep it nice and even. I'm using my fingers, or use a plectrum, a pick if you want to learn with a pick, or if you want to just strum it up and down for now with your fingers. But what's important is how it rings out. Now again, if the A string, which is the second string down, isn't ringing out, it'll be because your second finger is touching that, so you need to correct that. It could be because you've got your finger on the fret and not near the fret. So as I go through the strings, just nice and slowly, trying to solve the problems yourself and finding out why the strings are buzzing or why the strings aren't ringing out nice and clear. There's another alternative to playing the A chord if you're struggling, and rather using the first, second and third finger, use your second, third and fourth finger. There. If you are struggling because you've got a small neck or because you've got large fingers, doing it that way again using your little finger, your fourth finger rather than your first finger, again will make it a bit easier for you to play that A chord. And again, you're playing exactly the same notes, and just make sure they're all ringing out nice and clear again. Now there's another alternative, and this one, if you're really struggling to get an A chord or anything that sounds remotely similar, I mute the E note with my thumb, play the A, second note down, that rings out. You've got the E note fretted with the first finger, the A note is being fretted with the first finger, the C sharp. Now if you can, sort of bend that finger up, so you're fretting them 3 strings, but the E is still ringing out. The top E is being muted, the A is ringing out, and again just play it nice and slowly. That's another way of playing an A. It depends on people's hands. Some people will struggle with other chords more than others, and it's just another alternative to playing an A chord. Try them all, see which ones you like. It's all practice when you're starting to play the guitar, just getting used to different shapes, and it's all one chord but it's just different shapes, and one might suit you, one might not work for you, one might find easy and one might find not. So there's some different ways of playing an A chord.